Hello everyone, welcome to the class once again. I hope you're all doing good and at the best of your health. I believe that you have watched all the lessons of this class, that is kinetic theory of gases, and we have discussed every minute formula and I have told you how we can use them to identify the situation and condition of gaseous molecules, the pressure, the velocity, and a lot of things related with the gaseous conditions. We discussed about real gas laws and even ideal gas equation we have discussed in this. I told you about the mean free path of the gas also. So we'll be discussing question in this chapter based upon NEET pattern exercise. Your NEET examination question asked are of single choice objective question in which one option will be correct. If you mark the correct option, you're going to get +4 marks. If you mark incorrect, you're going to suffer -1 marks. So I believe that you are thorough with all the lessons. So let's go with the first question of the class. That is, first, two gases A and B having the same temperature T, same pressure P and same volume V. So we got two gases which have same pressure P, same volume V and same temperature T are mixed. If the mixture is at the same temperature T and occupies a volume V, the pressure of the mixture is. Now here we have to see that first it's given that two gases A and B have the same temperature T. So what we can apply in this? We can use the ideal gas equation PV equals to nRT. This is what we can use, and in this case if you see it says that two gases A and B having the same temperature T, same pressure P and same volume V. If I show you two gases, they are present in two different containers. You can see here, let's say this is gas A. Its pressure, volume, temperature is given as PVT, and there's a different container, it's containing gas B. And let me show you, this is gas B, its pressure, volume, temperature is given as PVT. Now what is going to happen? What is going to happen if we mix both the gases, the volume is going to increase. Now you just check, having the same temperature T, same pressure P and same volume V are mixed. If the mixture is at the same temperature T, temperature is kept same and occupies a volume V. Now we are doubling the number of molecules and the volume is kept same and occupies the volume, the pressure of the mixture is. Now see here, if the pressure, volume, temperature is same, that means number of molecules will be, number of moles of gases will be same. So let me mark that number of moles in each is n. So when we mix them, when the volume is kept same, the number of moles will be 2n. That's quite obvious, because n equals to PV by RT. So n equals to PV by RT. On mixing, the amount of gas, on mixing n dash, the new number of moles will be equal to 2n. That's quite obvious. It is asking what is the new pressure. See here, we can apply P dash, V dash is equal to n dash R T dash. Dash I am using for all the variables for pressure, volume and temperature after mixing. So P dash, that's the new pressure that will come out to be n dash R T dash divided by V dash. Quite obvious, n dash we can use as 2n. So 2n R. Now temperature, you see here what it has been provided. The same temperature T is kept at the same temperature T, so use the same value of temperature T. And here we are having the same volume V, so 2n RT by V. So we will be having this 2n RT by V. That's quite obvious. Initial pressure was given as nRT by V. You can see that initial pressure, if I write here initial pressure, that is given by nRT by V. So final pressure P dash will become twice of the initial pressure. So let me write down, final pressure will become twice of initial pressure. That's quite obvious. We got a relation between the final pressure and initial pressure. Let's go and check the options. Option number 8, 2P, yes, that's the right answer, because the final pressure is going to be doubled because the number of moles in the container is going to double. So that is what we're going to use. Rest, it will not be pressure P, it will not be P by 2, it will not be 4P. Hope that you are answered how to solve this. I have elaborately expressed every step so that you don't get confused how to solve such kind of questions. And the level of difficulty in your NEET examination can be simple or it can be moderate. Next question of the class, question number 2. The relation PV equals to RT, that is the ideal gas equation, PV equals to RT, can describe the behavior of a real gas at. Now, if PV equals to RT, that means pressure into volume equals to RT, that is for 1 mole of gas, high temperature and high density. First of all, let me tell you, while making some assumptions in kinetic theory of gases, I have told you the molecules move freely, and the molecule's volume is quite small compared to the volume of the container in which it is kept. So they are free to move. So just imagine if they are free to move, so what will be the condition in which they will be getting more space, more freedom to move? When the pressure will be low, if the pressure is low, they will be free to move, and if the volume is high. Or let us check with the given conditions. High temperature and high density. First, second, high temperature and low density, low temperature and low density, low temperature and high density. Now on increasing the temperature, think what will happen. The gas is going to expand, the molecules will get more space to move. So high temperature is one of the relevant thing you need to consider for applying ideal gas equation. Next, think about density. They should be free to move. If you take high density, molecules will be clubbed very close together, it will be present very close together. That is not the case that we have made in the assumption of kinetic theory of gases. So to have freedom to move, their density should be also quite low. So let me see high temperature, low density. This fits to our condition of assumptions in kinetic theory of gases. So option number B will be the right answer for this. Next, high temperature, high density, no, it will not be free to move. Low temperature and low density. Low temperature, again, if you keep the temperature low, its volume will contract, it will get less space to move. Low temperature, high density, very tough situation to apply the real ideal gas equation, PV equals to RT. So B, high temperature, low density, that will be the appropriate answer for this question. Such logical questions, such conceptual question can be asked in your NEET examination. You should be thorough with the concepts, with the theory, so that you can answer them very instantly and saving time in your paper. Question number 3. If a given mass of gas occupies a volume of 100 cc at 1 atmospheric pressure, so volume is provided, pressure is provided, and temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So temperature is also provided. What will be its volume at 4 atmospheric pressure, the temperature being the same? So temperature being the same, need not to worry about what law you are going to apply. If you know the ideal gas equation, you can apply directly the ideal gas equation to reach to the result. Otherwise, you can apply the Boyle's law, constant temperature that I have told you. In that case, pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. So we know that pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other, or we know that from Boyle's law, we can use temperature remains constant. If temperature remains constant, what we can apply? We can apply pressure into volume, that will remain constant. So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So we can write implies that P2 is equal to P1 V1 by V2. Quite obvious, we can apply this P1 V1 by V2. Pressure, initial pressure, P1 stands for the suffix that I am using 1, that is for initial conditions, where I am using 2, that is for the final conditions. So initial pressure, you see, if a given mass of gas occupies a volume of 100 cc at 1 atmospheric pressure. So keep here 1 atmospheric pressure and 100 cc, and you see finally it says that what will be its volume at 4 atmospheric pressure. We need to find out the volume, and here I have identified the pressure. What you do, just change and write it here, V2 is divided by, and P2 you can divide. So pressure initial 1 atmosphere multiplied by 100 cc divided by 4 atmospheric pressure. ATM that will be cancelled out, atmospheric pressure unit. So quite obvious, 100 by 4, that will give you 25 cc. So 25 cc will be the answer for this one. 25 cc, that's 1/4 of the initial volume. A 100 cc, no. Same volume, no. B 400 cc, no. C 25 cc, yes, this is the result that we are getting. And D 104 cc, no. That's quite unobvious. We cannot go for the D option anyhow. Option number C 25 cc will be the right answer. I have applied Boyle's law. If you are unaware about what law to use, Boyle's law, Charles' law, Avogadro law, so need not to worry. If you know the ideal gas equation PV equals to nRT, directly you can use it and you can reach to the result. That is the best way to actually save time. Here I have used the law, even that is also appropriate. Next question of the class, question number 4. If the pressure in a closed vessel is reduced by drawing out some gas, so we are reducing the pressure by drawing out some gas, the mean free path of the molecule is decreased, is increased, remains unchanged, increase or decrease according to the nature of the gas. Now first of all, understand mean free path, how we want to determine it. If there is more pressure on a gas, the mean free path is going to reduce because randomly it's going to collide with the neighboring molecules. So mean free path is going to reduce in that case. And if the pressure is reduced, try to understand, the pressure is reduced. So what will happen? If pressure is reduced, these molecules will be free to move and the random collision, the path between two random collision will be increased. So the mean path is going to increase. It's a quite conceptual question. Mean path is going to increase. So that will decrease? No, it is going to increase. Remains unchanged? No, it is going to increase. Pressure you decrease, it's going to increase. The mean free path will increase. Increase or decrease according to the nature of the gas? No. For all gases it will be same. It's going to increase because the path traveled between two successive collisions or between any two collisions, that will be increased when you reduce the pressure. Hope that you are answered orally with this, and I have also told you about the mean free path in our class. I have given the formula also which to apply to know about the mean free path. Even that you can apply for the result to reach to the result of this question. Question number 5. A box contains n molecules of a gas. How will the pressure of gas be affected if the number of molecules is made 2n? Box contains n molecules of gas. How will the pressure of gas be affected if the number of molecules is made 2n? A, pressure will decrease. B, pressure will remain unchanged. Pressure will be doubled. Pressure will become 3 times. Now, how to comment on this? Now, see here, while discussing about the pressure of a gas, we reached on the formula P equals to 1 by 3 rho V square. This is the formula we have reached, where rho is the density of the gas. Now, if we write this, can I write this 1 by 3 rho can we write as mass per unit volume, total mass of gas m, total volume V, capital V we are using, and for root mean square, it is square speed, so I am using small v. This is the value of pressure. Now, how we can write the total mass of gas? Can we write total mass of gas as mass of one molecule multiplied with total number of molecules? So, we can write m is equal to n into m naught, where m naught is mass of one molecule. This is we can apply for the mass of gas. So, mass of gas equal to n into m naught. Now, you check here initial pressure, a box contains n molecules of gas. How will the pressure of gas be affected if the number of molecules is made 2n? So, initial pressure, if I talk about initial pressure Pi, that is 1 by 3 n m naught by V into V square. This small v, this capital V, that is different. V, capital V represents total volume of the gas. Small v represents the root mean square. It's square of the root mean square speed. So, n m naught is the initial pressure. Now, finally, if I talk about the final pressure P2, that will be equal to twice of n m naught by V multiplied by V square. This is what we are going to get. Okay. So, 2n m naught, quite obvious, you can see that 1 by 3, and I have not mentioned here 1 by 3, that is required. So, you can see that 1 by 3 n m naught by V square, and 1 by 3 2 n m naught by V and V square. Quite obvious, final pressure is twice of initial pressure. That is quite obvious. Final pressure is twice of initial pressure. Let us quickly check. Pressure will decrease? No. Pressure will remain unchanged? No, it is changing. pressure will be doubled. Yes, we are seeing that it's twice of the initial pressure, so it's going to be doubled. This is the right answer. Pressure will become 3 times. No, we got that. It will be doubled, so it will not be tripled. It will not be 3 times of the initial pressure. Now here we use the formula for pressure of the gas, which we have derived in our regular sessions. We have derived also how we attained 1 by 3 rho v square. Next question, question number 6. Capital N molecules, each of mass m. So there are n molecules, each of mass m of gas A, and 2n molecules, each of mass 2m of gas B, are contained in the same vessel which is maintained at a temperature T. So they are contained in the same vessel and they are maintained at temperature T. The mean square velocity of molecule of B type is denoted by V2, and the mean square velocity of A type is denoted by V1. Then V1 by V2 is, that is, we need to find the ratio of mean square speed, actually mean square velocity of V1 by V2. Now root mean square speed I have already discussed, mean square speed it is, and V1 by V2 we need to find out. N molecules each of mass m of gas A and 2n molecules each of mass 2m of gas B are contained in the same vessel which is maintained at temperature T. Now see here, one vessel we have got and we have kept gases A and B in it. Gas A, it has n molecules, okay, and gas B has 2n molecules. This is gas A, n number of molecules, and here we have gas B, and this is got 2n number of molecules. These are two things that has been provided. Now we need to talk about the root mean square speed. And first of all, let me also mark the mass of each molecule. It says that the mass of molecule of the gas A is given as m, and for B it's 2m. So I am marking here m, and here for B I am marking 2m. That is the mass of each molecule for gas A and B. If you want, we can write separately mass of molecule of gas A, that is equal to given as a small m, and mass of molecule of gas B is given as 2m. That is what has been given. Now just now I told you about the previous question, pressure is equal to 1 by 3 rho v square where v is the root mean square speed. Now again, if I open this thing rho as 1 by 3, and rho can be written as n into m naught by total volume V upon V square, pressure is equal to this. Now you see here, if I apply for A, if I apply, we will be having pressure of A is equal to 1 by 3 and number of molecules of A, that is given as n, capital N, and its mass is m upon total volume. You have to use the total volume V, that is of the container, because it's getting the same container, so it will be using this total volume V, and this will be V1 whole square, first thing. So I have used it, this will be actually V1 whole square, this is for the pressure of A. So what you do, take note here so that I may write at the other end by rubbing it. So take note till here. So I believe that you would have taken down this diagram. Let me rub this so that I may use this space. Now for B it's 2n, for A it's n. Now one more thing, if the pressure, they are kept in the same container, so pressure will be same. The volume V we have to use same for both the gases. So if I write about V1 whole square, that will come out to be pressure of A, that is same pressure P. Okay, let me keep pressure of A into V, and 3 also will come here, divide by capital M into M. Now similarly, if I write about V2 whole square, that will be 3, pressure of B will be also same, let me keep initial pressure of B into volume V, that will be same, they are kept in the same container. Now total number of molecules is 2n and total the mass of each molecule is 2m, so I have to use 2n and 2m. So V1 whole square divided by V2 whole square will be actually equal to this 3 and 3 and will be cancelled out. So PA by PB, that is same, it will get 1, and here this N, M, N will cancel out, 4 you will be getting here. This is what you will be getting. Now pressure of A, pressure of B equals to 1, so this will be finally coming out to be 1, since pressure of A equals to pressure of B, they are kept in the same container, is equal to 4. So V1 whole square by V2 whole square equals to 4. So V1 by V2, if I write down, that will turn out to be V1 by V2 under root 4, that will get you 2. So let us check the answer V1 by V2, and just a minute, we need to do for this, yes, n molecules each of mass m of gas A and 2n molecules each of mass 2m of gas B are contained in same vessel. Now see here, V1 by V2, that is, we got 2, so right option will be option number A, that is 2, rest B1 no, C1 by 3 no, and D2 by 3 no. So 2 is the right answer for this. Let's switch to the next question and just let me clear the board for you all. Question number 7. Gas exerts pressure on the walls of the container because gas has weight, gas molecules have momentum, gas molecules collide with each other, and gas molecules collide with the walls of the container. Now gas molecules are moving randomly, they have got mass, they have got velocity, that means they have momentum. And having momentum doesn't actually purely implies that it's going to exert pressure. When they collide, they impart momentum to the wall, and when they get rebounded from the wall, they're actually exerting a pressure on the walls of the container. While deriving the pressure of the gas, I have discussed that there are several molecules moving randomly within the container. What they will do? They will actually strike with the walls of the container, so they are going to impart momentum. And I have told you that during the collision, momentum is actually transmitted to the walls of container, and then while they rebound, it means they are going to exert a force on the walls of container. When they are going to exert a force on the walls of container, it means they are going to exert pressure on the walls of container. Exerts pressure on the walls of container. So why this is possible? It is not possible that gases have weight, they will be kept comfortably, no. It's on the walls of container, no. The first option, gas has weight, no. This is not the probable option. Gas molecules have momentum, they have momentum, but that is not the purely answer for this. This is not the most appropriate option. Gas molecules collide with each other. If they collide with each other, they are going to exert force on each other, not on the walls of container. Gas molecules collide with the walls of the container. Yes, this is the best and most appropriate option for this question. They are going to collide with the walls of container, and hence they are going to exert pressure on the walls of container. Let's switch to question number 8. The average kinetic energy of a gas molecules at 27 degrees Celsius is 6.21 into 10 to the minus 21 joule. Its average kinetic energy at 227 degrees Celsius will be. Now let me tell you how to actually know about the average kinetic energy. I have told you how the kinetic energy is related with temperature. Now kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. This is what I have told you in our regular classes. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. So if I talk about initial kinetic energy, that will be directly proportional to, you see here, initial temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. So that will be proportional to 273 plus 27 Kelvin. Remember, temperature you should express always in Kelvin units. And final kinetic energy will be proportional to 273 plus 227, that is 227 is the final temperature. So let me use here 227 Kelvin. Initial kinetic energy is given. The average kinetic energy of the gas molecules at 27 degrees Celsius is this much, 6.21 into 10 to the minus 21 joule. That is what has been given. So let me actually use kinetic energy final divided by kinetic energy initial is equal to this temperature, this 273 plus 227 that will give you 500 divided by 300. So this will be equal to 5 by 3. So kinetic energy final will turn out to be 5 by 3 multiplied with kinetic energy initial, that is 6.21 into 10 to power minus 21. Kinetic energy initial, that is actually 6.21 into 10 to power minus 21 joules. Simply you have to make this calculation. This will be approximately 10.35 into 10 to power minus 21 joules. That is the final kinetic energy of this gaseous molecules of the average kinetic energy. Let's check with the given option. 52.2, 10.10 minus 21 joule, no. 5.22, no. 10.35 into 10 to minus 21 joule, that's the right response. D, 11.35, no. You can easily make the calculation, do the calculation on your own, and we will be finding that we will be obtaining this as the final result. Let's go to next question. Question number 9. The temperature of an ideal gas is increased from 120 Kelvin to 480 Kelvin. Temperature is increased from 120 Kelvin to 480 Kelvin. 4 times we are increasing the temperature. If at 120 Kelvin, the root mean square velocity of gas molecule is V, and at 480 Kelvin it becomes root mean square speed in terms of temperature, V RMS is equal to under root 3 RT by m naught, where m naught is the molecular mass of the gas. So it is proportional to root of temperature. So V RMS we can write that is proportional to under root T. Now if I talk about initial V RMS, V1, that is initial RMS, that will be proportional to T1, initial T1, and V2 will be proportional to final temperature T2. So we need to actually compare the final speed with respect to initial speed, that is the root mean square speed. So if I write V2 by V1, that will turn out to be under root T2 by T1. Substitute the value of temperature, 480 divided by 120. You are going to get this 4, under root of that we will get as 2. So V2 will come out to be twice of V1. This is the final result. V2 will be equal to twice of V1. Let's check with the given option. A 4V, no. B 2V, yes. It's the twice of initial velocity, or let me write down final velocity is equal to twice of initial velocity, that is V, that has been provided to us. So let's check with the third option. V by 2, no, and V by 4, no. So 2V, it will be actually double. It will be twice of the initial speed. Hope that you are understanding what kind of questions will be asked in this chapter. You should be thorough with the formula. If you have practiced, you will be remembering the formula for the VRMS, for the ideal gas equation, and how to use them. Question number 10. RMS velocity of a particle is C. It's given that RMS velocity is C at pressure P. If pressure is increased to 2 times, then RMS velocity becomes A 0.5, B C, C 2C, and D 3C. Now see here, it's given that RMS velocity of particle is C and at pressure P. If pressure is increased 2 times, then RMS velocity will become what? If pressure you are going to increase, till the time temperature remains constant, P into V will remain constant. Understand this. It's nothing is provided for how the temperature is changing. We all know that V RMS is equal to under root 3 RT by m naught. Just now I wrote. Or if you are thinking that why not to use V RMS is equal to 3 PV by m naught. You may use this also. The right thing will be when pressure is increased, volume is going to double. Sorry, volume will be reduced to half. I'm sorry, volume will be reduced to half. If pressure is going to be twice, this will be reduced by half. So 2 into 1 by 2, that will be actually cancelling out. So PV will remain constant. And if you concentrate here, it is 3 RT by m naught. If temperature remains constant, till the time temperature remains constant, that means there is no change in velocity. There is no change in root mean square velocity. That means it will remain same. If pressure increases 2 times, you increase it any time, so the time volume is also changing and temperature remains constant, the RMS velocity will remain constant because that only depends upon temperature. So it will become 1.5 times, no, it will be C, yes, it will remain the same, that is C, not 2C, not 3C. You need to check, you need to see how we are reaching onto this result. This was the question number 10 of the class. We discussed some interesting and good conceptual question based upon this chapter. I believe that you would have learnt with this exercise. Now, what I will advise you, I will advise you to do practice more questions from your given textbook, and you will find that as you practice, you are actually memorizing the formula used in this chapter. That will be helpful for answering the question on the day of your examination. So I wish you all the very best. I will get with you in the next class with some more concepts, more discussions. Till the time, thank you very much for joining with me.